everyone, and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. I'm your host, the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne. Today we're joined by Marius from WebitFactory. Marius, thanks for joining us today.
Hey Wayne, thank you for the invitation.
Awesome, man. Looking forward to talking to you about what you guys are doing. Hodlezz specifically, right? So before we jump into what Hodlezz is and what you guys have built with Hodlezz and why it's important for the users, tell us a little bit about your background and kind of what you did prior to Web3 and since joining Web3.
Right. Well, I have always been passionate about technology. I remember being like 12 years old when I first built my first website, and then I uploaded it on the internet. I was like, wow, now everyone can see it, which was really awesome. So starting at a very young age, I enjoyed programming and doing different stuff, starting with very easy ones, of course. And later on, I also studied at a technical college in Romania, and I started to develop more and more applications. Of course, I also founded a tech company. It's called WebitFactory, where we have a blockchain division for 6 years now. We worked with multiple EVM-based blockchains, Solana, Multiverse, which is a Romanian local blockchain. So basically how our Web3 journey started when it happened 6 years ago was that we just got to know some things about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on. Then we found out about MetaMask, and we said, hey, let's try to do an integration and see what that goes. We had our first MetaMask integration, and we had that aha moment like, wow, that's really cool. So this means that I can create an application and anyone else can actually create a front end and interact with my backend application through the smart contract by just connecting the MetaMask, which would act like let's say like an account that you can port from one app to another. That was really cool. And that's how we basically started our blockchain division. It was a very, very dummy R&D, I would say, by doing the MetaMask integration. And of course, the more experience we gathered, we worked on multiple projects with multiple teams. We built really cool stuff around blockchain technology. And our vision now is basically to bring the blockchain technology into mainstream. So now we are doing different discussion with bigger companies or even public institutions, for example, to see where the blockchain technology can match. Because in our vision, blockchain technology, we don't need to replace their whole digital infrastructure, basically. Blockchain technology works like a cap that comes with extra privacy, security, and so on. And we identify these very specific use cases in their day-to-day activities, basically, and we make the proposals, we do the integrations, and so on. Of course, we also act as a consultant, and because we need to choose which blockchain to build on, even if it's a public or private, we still need to take this decision for our partners and the projects we collaborate with.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I like what you said there about blockchain, because it's not like trying to replace everything going on blockchain, right? It's finding where blockchain technology and Web3 can solve a user need, solve a company need, improve the user experience. And I think in some cases, right, wouldn't you agree? I mean, it's going to get to the point where a lot of people aren't even going to realize they're using blockchain technology. They're just using tech and it's working, right? They don't need to know.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point here, because even today we use a lot of applications like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and so on. And we don't really care what kind of database those apps use and how it works. It just magically works, right? It should be the same for the blockchain. Blockchain is something that, in our opinion, should be in the very background. It should work. It should come with all these properties. It has to offer the privacy, transparency, immutability, and so on. And basically all the Web3 related application, blockchain application should focus on the user experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we definitely can agree on that one. So let's jump into. I mean, you mentioned Hodlezz. Hodlezz, which has come out.
Yeah.
That's a great application. I love it. I've used it quite a bit since we've met you guys. So tell everybody a little bit about Hodlezz, and I definitely like the name too because I think most people that get into crypto are hodlers. Because trading's hard, trading's tricky. Trading actually takes a lot of education and discipline. So most people are just going to buy and hold for the long term.
Yeah, true. So let me jump to this topic. Basically, Hodlezz is a spin-off startup that we invested from our company, basically with our company, with a software company. And this idea came from a little frustration we had because being developers, we had so many wallets, exchanges, accounts, and so on. And they were spread like everywhere. We had some Excel files where we held some of them, but sometimes you just don't update those. You don't update your data or the assets that you are purchasing or exchanging, swapping, and so on. And basically, we used to before crashing the Blockfolio application, if you remember, it was maybe purchased by FTX, and after that whole scandal, the application is no longer available. And we really liked the user experience there because we tried other monitoring applications. And we said, okay, we want to build a chain-agnostic portfolio management application, but also to consider NFTs because most of the applications don't do that, or at least they don't do on other chains. So we wanted to be chain agnostic in terms of tokens and NFTs as well. And furthermore, we wanted to keep that very simple user experience, like swiping left and right between portfolios, which was really great in our opinion. Okay, so we started building this. We integrated the most major exchanges like Binance, for example, which is one of the biggest. Everyone knows that. Also, most important, or not most important, but let's say most adopted blockchains like Ethereum, Solana, and many others. And after that, we said, hey, okay, we had other kind of issues when we held our assets because we also purchased some NFTs. We played around different games using NFTs. We staked those. There were many opportunities or actions that you could take based on those NFTs. And that's what actually clicked us because at some point, because we could not simply follow up all the Discord servers, Telegram channels, and so on, we kind of missed some opportunities in the space. And what's really great about Hodlezz right now is that once you connect your wallet, and here I want to make a quick mention, you connect just your public key because we are not having access to your assets at all. So the private key, it's in user's hand, basically. We don't touch that. Also the same when you connect your exchange, it's a read-only API key that exchanges can offer. So basically, we extract all this information about your assets based on what wallet or exchange you connect. And we also aggregate and curate all opportunities in the space, in the Web3 space. And then we just simply match what you actually hold with what actual opportunities are in the market. For example, you have a very, let's say, expensive NFT, you can stake that, earn tokens, which usually, if the NFT is expensive, also the tokens are very valuable. And we notify you based on that. Or let's say you stake your Solana on Binance, but there are better APIs on other DEXs, for example. We can also notify you about that. And this is one of the problems that Hodlezz application solves. And the problem sounds like that. We have a Web3 space that is not really curated and it's very noisy. So we reduce the noise basically by bringing all these opportunities to you directly and basically what really interests you because you already have. You don't, maybe you want to see other kind of opportunities to start investing into those projects, which you can also see. But what's the key feature here is that we match what you hold with what it's actually there. And of course, because in Web3 space, community, it's a very important aspect. We have some functionalities around this, like giveaways, airdrops, that we work in collaboration with other projects that can be retrieved through the application. We also do real life partnerships. For example, we had partnerships where we gave away tickets for real life events, Web3 events, and so on.
Nice. I love that. It's so much more than just a portfolio tracker, right? That's what I really like about it. You give so many different features to where, yeah, someone can track their portfolio spread across multiple exchanges and wallets, but being able to match to different opportunities or better opportunities than maybe what they're participating in. That's really nice. And I think, I don't know about you, but I feel NFTs, you're probably going to see a lot more use cases with NFTs where they'll be utilized to where you'll do a lot more things like you mentioned with giveaways. I mean, imagine when most ticketing is NFTs, and most people's loyalty and membership programs are NFTs. Then being able to track that, and I definitely see a big future for that. And that's one thing I noticed. You're right. Other places I saw that were quote unquote portfolio trackers, there wasn't really anything to where it also tracked the NFTs in the wallet. I mean, the data's there. So it's good to see that, to where you can see everything in one application as far as what NFTs you're holding or staking.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, we are in discussions now. I'm not going to disclose the name, but we'll add a feature for events. We're already signing a partnership with a local event. And we want to use the Hodlezz infrastructure that we built basically to act like a ticket, and furthermore to be like a social application during events. Because, during Web3 events, people say, I have that, I have the other NFT, I have those kind of tokens. They are shilling different type of, let's say, projects. But through Hodlezz, you can actually validate that, because you'll be in the same event. You can check through the application what that person actually has in its portfolio. And of course, you can make all the connections. You can discuss during the event through chat or video. You can remain in contact and so on.
Yeah, man. So you are you're kind of bringing to life something that I've heard many years ago, and I forgot who said it, but they were talking about how wallets were going to evolve and they were going to become social wallets, where what NFTs or like what you held in your wallet was almost like, just like people share stuff on social media, you can have social aspects to share what you hold. Like, oh, I hold this one, I hold that one, and then you can connect with others that hold the same.
I think
and I was just going to say,
I want to say really, that.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's a little bit of delay. Yeah, go on. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, and that aspect of what was talked about many years ago, it makes sense what you guys are building, because you're right. I mean, we have multiple wallets, right? And we've got multiple exchange accounts, multiple wallets. And so it's not going to be a wallet that's going to unite that all together and create that social aspect. It's going to be something like what you guys are building at Hodlezz.
Yeah, because we think that social proof is really important in the Web3 space. We all know that there are a lot of scammers. We need to be educated. Basically, I think education is a key aspect for mass adoption. And we try to do this as well, little by little, of course, through this social proof. So the more curated the space is, I think the adoption will be there, and more, let's say, very useful projects with real life use cases will come to life thanks to this.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I do want to back up, and I have a question. So you guys formed WebitFactory. You founded that 6 years ago, and in my head, I was
the blockchain division is 6 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So blockchain division. Yeah. Gotcha. So yeah, but you founded that 6 years ago, and I did that. The math in my head, and I'm going back, and that was right. That was right at the beginning of a bear market. That was 2018. 2017, early 2018, when the market was going into a big bear market, but you saw the opportunity there. So what did you see there? It's like, okay, even though the market's going down, we're gonna build out this blockchain division.
Mhm. So just to add something funny, we founded the blockchain division after we purchased Ethereum at 1.6K before it crashed. So it was right after that. Well, actually, we didn't see an opportunity. We just liked the technology. That's actually what made us start doing this because we were really passionate. Our team is pretty young. We wanted to bring new technology type projects into the company, and that's what mattered for us at that point. Of course, now it's an opportunity because we have a very specific know-how. It's easy for us to develop on multiple blockchains because we have experience with many blockchains we already developed on. But initially, it was just passion, I would say, just passion and removing the boredom basically and
Yeah.
starting something new.
Yeah, so you guys had a belief, just like many people that were building during bear markets, that hey, just because the market prices of everything is crashing or going down, there's still long term potential with this
Yeah.
technology, and that's kind of what I learned around that same exact time. That's what made me think about it in my head was for me, 2018 for me was a time of okay, I've been in this space a couple years, but the market's crashing. Everybody telling me it's dying. I've looked historically. I know how markets work, but I needed to see. And when I got out to events and started talking to different companies, I saw that people were double down. You know, they were doubling down and building in that space, even though the market was in a panic because prices were going down.
Yeah, of course, but you need to have some reserves, a cash flow to do this because just doing R&D is not really sustainable.
Right,
So, of course, the best time to build, everyone says it's in bear market, but without reserves, it's
right,
never good, you know?
right. Yeah, yeah. It's the best time, but you have to be prepared for it. You have to have those
True, true.
reserves. Absolutely, absolutely. So, as far as Hodlezz goes, when someone's looking at Hodlezz, what do you recommend for a new person? Like to maybe someone's listening to this and they've maybe got a Coinbase or a Binance account and maybe one wallet. You recommend for them to get into Hodlezz now and start connecting those accounts and playing around trying to use it.
Mhm. Yeah, because on top of just monitoring your assets, we come with different features. As I said, the opportunity engine that we build won't feed you opportunities just from Binance. It will feed you opportunities from the whole Web3 ecosystem. So maybe you can find a new opportunity there and it's a good match for you. And why not? In the end, having the same assets, you learn more money, which makes sense for each of us, right? And
Yeah.
secondly, on top of the two I mentioned, monitoring your assets and also having the access to the opportunity engine, we are building a history of your portfolio performance, which is really great. And we also offer some reports. It's something that we are really curious. I'm not really sure how useful this report is, but we wanted to see in a portfolio what's the distribution of assets when it comes to holding assets in wallets and centralized exchanges. And we build this type of reports which you have access to by just using Hodlezz. Of course, we have other kind of information, public information. We have the coins, the listing of the coins, NFT collections. We offer information about all of those. We also offer a data feed for news. You can visualize all the news in the most major publications in Web3, so you don't have to go to each publication in order to check them. And also, you have access to the airdrops and giveaways.
Hmm. Nice. Something I just thought of. So you can see someone's portfolio history from the time they connect, and you can see. So you could also see someone's mix of assets of what they're holding on centralized exchanges versus what they're holding in their own wallet, right?
Yeah.
So it could be over time. I mean, how do you think? And I don't know. Maybe you guys do this already. I'm not sure. I haven't explored it that deep, but to where if someone's just holding assets for say a certain period of time just in an exchange, maybe a notification to recommend they move it to to a wallet there, the wallet where they control the private keys.
Yeah, exactly. That's one aspect basically. When you are in a centralized exchange, you are not the owner of the private keys. And when you move to a wallet, you are the owner. Of course, I also held assets in centralized exchanges, mainly because of the security and also because I'm sometimes chaotic and I lose my private keys or
Right.
I spill the coffee on my laptop and I lose the private keys, which happened twice already. Of course, not big amounts, but seems that it's something to me there, something broken to me. But it comes with advantages and disadvantages. If you want to be a full decentralized, you'll hold your wallets. Of course, you'll hold your assets
Right.
in the wallets, but then you'll have to take care of the private keys. But what's the key aspect here is that usually when you use your wallet to stake assets on decentralized applications, you'll have better earnings than staking them on centralized exchanges. So that's one key aspect, and that's why Hodlezz will notify you about moving them to another wallet. Actually, it's not going to tell you that you need to move your assets because that's your whole decision, but we tell you about the better opportunities, and then you can take this decision.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And I guess just like moving it from a centralized exchange to a wallet, like you mentioned, there's risk both ways that people need to move about,
Yeah.
that people need to know about. And I hear a lot of times, right, people that are truly just pushing, 100% decentralization is move everything, not your keys, not your crypto. But then some people that aren't prepared yet to take custody of their assets will move them to a wallet and then lose their private keys, lose their seed phrase. So it's important. It's an educational process because there's risk both ways. Your risk with an exchange is counterparty risk. Someone else is holding your private keys. Your risk with holding it in a wallet where you control the private keys is that self-custody risk that I could lose it if I don't take the right precautions.
Yeah, that's right. I actually think that centralized exchanges played a really major role in adoption through education because they had to do this big or very difficult thing like educating masses, which is very costly, and they did that,
Yeah.
which is really great, and we should thank to all these centralized exchanges for doing so.
Right. Yeah, I've definitely seen that quite a bit. Cool. All right, Marius. So as we wrap up, can you tell everybody where they can find out more about Hodlezz, follow you guys, and find the application?
Yeah, sure. So you can check our website at hodlezz.com and also on social medias like X, where you can find us by typing Hodlezz. That's our handle.
All right, awesome. So make sure to check it out. Make sure to follow their socials, download the app, check it out. Marius, it's been a pleasure today. Any final words before we wrap up?
Stay safe, take care of your private keys, of course.
Absolutely. Good advice. All right, Marius. It's been a pleasure having you on today. I challenge everybody to get out and check out Hodlezz and what they're doing there. And thanks again for joining us. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And we will catch you on the next episode.
Yeah, thank you very much for your invitation. See ya,
Absolutely.
everyone. Peace.